Hey everybody, welcome back. In this extra video, I am going to quickly show you how to work with transparency, both in Maya and in Photoshop. So in the main videos for this week, we're working with an already prepared butterfly that already had a transparent background. But what if, for example, you found something like a butterfly or similar that you wanted to work with for your simple model, but you found that it already has some kind of a background here, that it's not a fully transparent image like you would want. What do we do at that point? Well, as you can see, I already took this image into Maya. I already applied it to my butterfly model, which once again is just a plane with one edge loop down the middle there, as you can see. I already applied the image to it. I already did some rotating and some scaling to kind of center the image and make it more appropriate to what I want. As you can see, there's already a little bit of tiling going on here because of that rotation and moving over that I did to kind of center the butterfly into this into this plane here. I can actually go ahead and open up my UV editor to show you the things that I did. Essentially, I just grabbed the UV shell here and just started playing with it until I got until I got the butterfly centered in there. That's what I did beforehand, and now I'm just going to show you how to get rid of this background stuff within Maya itself. It's not a perfect solution to make an image transparent through Maya. It's possible, and I'm going to show you how, but ideally you would put this into Photoshop, which I will also show you how to do in a few minutes. But here we go. We have the butterfly. It's already in here. It's already applied. Let's go ahead and get rid of the background for this. So we can select the butterfly model, and we can jump over from the modeling menu to the rendering menu. Then we can go up to texturing. Then we can go to the 3D Paint tool, specifically the settings for the 3D Paint tool. We can open those up. We can scroll down to where it says Attribute to Paint. It's currently set to color, but we don't want to add any color to this because this is already colored in, as we can plainly see. We're going to instead change this attribute to transparency. Then we're going to click Assign and Edit Textures. We are going to go ahead and actually assign and edit the file size here, as well as the image format, which will be PNG for me because I like PNGs. In this case, we could stick with 1024 by 1024 if we wanted to, but we can also use the actual dimensions of the image. And if you give me just a second, I can go ahead. Details 1380 by 776, so we can get rid of keep aspect ratio. 1380 by 1380. What's going on? Let's see what happens if I go 2048. Yeah, it allows those. It doesn't allow the in-between numbers. That's interesting. Okay, well, in that case, we can stick with 1024 by 1024. That's interesting that it doesn't allow the in-between numbers, but, whatever. It doesn't really affect anything overall. So let's go ahead and click Assign and Edit Textures, and we're ready. All we have to do now is change the color here to white for transparency. And now we should be able to just start painting in transparency. Yes, there we go. There it is. This is currently using a soft brush. Let's undo and use something harder like this. Start creating our transparency here. You can already see the issues with this particular method of getting rid of transparency. First of all, you don't really have any control. You can't really mask anything that you don't want to make that you don't want to be transparent, as you can see. This is not an ideal way to get rid of the background of images. It is a way, though, and if you wanted to, you could use this way to make some of your to make your images transparent if you wanted to. It's not ideal. Again, as you can see, I can't even get rid of this tiling here. So it's a very limited method of making transparency of masking, because you have no control over the masking here. It's all just free flow painting here. I'm curious why I can't actually paint off this but I guess the solution to that would just be to flood and then to color black, and then you just bring back the butterfly at this point and work with whatever's left over. Like that. So let's see, now we can make this white, we can keep painting. I'm not going to finish working with this one because there really isn't any point to doing it this way. Again, this is an option for you if you wanted to, but there is a much more efficient way to mask and create your own transparency through Photoshop as opposed to a Maya. I just wanted to show you this is a method. This does technically work if you're very careful and you don't mind making many mistakes as you try to create a transparent background for whatever image you're working with. But that is a way to actually create transparency. Again, not an efficient way, but it is a way. We're now going to jump into Photoshop and do it the much more efficient way where you actually have control over masking techniques and such. So, okay, here we are in Photoshop. And actually, really quick, back to Maya real fast. I just want to say real quick that you can use B and the left mouse button to control the size of the brush here for your masking, for your transparency purposes. Again, useful, but not the most useful way of doing this. So let's actually jump back into Photoshop real quick. We're going to make a new file real quick. We're going to work with a standard 1024 by 1024 here, 300. That's fine, nothing special. Let's go ahead and open up the image file. You'll give me just a second to crack that open, and there it is. Let's drag that in here. There it is. Wonderful. We don't even have to crop it or do anything. It's already nice and in place. Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and work on making this transparent. And the way I like to do that with images like this is by going up here to my object selection tool. It's right here. You can also use quick selection if you want to. I prefer object selection for some images, but there are other images where it doesn't really work so well, and you're going to want to use quick selection. It's going to be up to you. It's a preference thing, and it's going to be a case-by-case basis. If the situation warrants use of the object selection or quick selection or even the magic wand tool. In this case, I'm going to use quick selection. I'm just going to hover over and it intelligently tracks down the butterfly for me. It's not a perfect selection. It's never going to be a perfect selection, but it's a good selection to start off with. So we are going to select that. I'm going to hold Alt and rotate my mouse wheel here so I can zoom in a little bit, and we can see that already the first major problem with the selection is that the antennae are not actually selected. So in this case, I'm going to use a combination of the Object Select and Quick Select tool. And I am going to zoom in. I'm going to have to make my brush size real small. It's already very small from previous testing. And now I'm just going to have to select the antenna here. So it's not going to be a perfect selection here either for demo purposes, and also just we can clean it up later if we need to. But it is going to be a good start to get us to something a little nicer. This is the major difference between Photoshop and I don't want that much like this. This is the major difference between Photoshop and Maya. It is the power of masking. It's not available with Maya's transparency feature, but in Photoshop it is. So depending on the kind of needs that you're working with, the kind of image that you're working with, the kind of transparency you're looking for, you may want to do it the fast way with Maya, or you may want to do it the more precise way with Photoshop here. I got most of it. Again, it's not going to be perfect for demo purposes, and also because we're going to be getting some of it later, but we essentially got it. We can also get this little bit here, I guess, a little bit of the leg. And that should do it. That should basically be the majority of the butterfly. Let me just make sure there's no gaps or anything. Specifically with this antenna here, no, it doesn't seem to be. Okay, we can work with this. There's kind of a gap there. We can fix that. That should be good enough, I think, for what we're doing here. So we have the butterfly selected. That's great. I'm going to go up here to select. I am going to select inverse here, or I can just press Control Shift I, but I'm just going to select inverse from up here because I find it more convenient. Now I'm going to go to channels, and I'm going to go down here to this mask icon here, and we make ourselves a mask. And actually, Actually, I did it incorrectly. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. The selection I should have is just the butterfly right now, I believe. So let's go ahead and go to channels. Let's go to, here we go. This is it. So skip that inverse step that I did there. I did that incorrectly. We now added a alpha channel here. So if we actually select the and actually activate the alpha channel here, we can see that everything that is in red will be transparent and gone, and everything that's colored in will be what remains. So we don't actually have to have this selected anymore. Everything that is colored, that is in color, in multicolor here, is going to be what actually shows up, and everything that is in red is going to be everything that is transparent. It's not a perfect selection. We have some bits and bobs here that are poking out, and now we're going to go ahead and work and get rid of those little bits that we don't want popping up. Here is the image as an alpha with just the alpha channel selected here. We can see that this is what the black and white image of what it actually looks like is. Everything that's in white is actually going to be what shows up. Everything that's in black is going to be fully transparent, and you know, you won't actually be able to see it whether you put it in Maya or Unity or wherever. So now we're going to go ahead and actually refine this a little bit, as I mentioned. So let's go ahead and bring everything back. Let's select the alpha channel here. Let's select a better brush because this is currently still the clouds from my Cloud Extra video. So let's find a nice, better brush. Let's find a nice hard brush here. We can make it smaller. Yeah, that should be good. If we work with white, as you may recall, white is going to bring the color back in, and it's going to make and it's going to allow for that information to show up in your PNG. So we don't want that. You want to make it black, because black is going to make bits and pieces of your image disappear and transparent, as we can see by just doing this and going back to our alpha channel here. We can see that our alpha channel now lost this bit of image information there. So let's go ahead and undo that. Let's just color in and get rid of this of these edges here. That should be okay for demo purposes. So there we go. There is our butterfly, all ready to go. Hooray! All right, so let's go ahead and get this out of Photoshop. This is all done to my to the level that I wanted to for this demo. So let's go ahead and get it out of here. Let's go to File. We're not going to export. We're actually going to save as. I'm just going to put it here on the desktop for now. I am going to call it butterfly .tiff. You want to use a .tiff because if you just use a Photoshop file of .psd, you're not going to be able to. Targa is also fine if you have that available in your list of file types here. I don't have Targa available in this computer for whatever reason. I do have TIFF, however, so I'm going to use TIFF. And I'm going to save. I'm going to replace the one I already have for my testing. I'm not going to mess around with any of these. I'm just going to say OK. And now, if we go back into Maya, there's Maya, here we go. Back in Maya, I am going to create a new plane because this scene actually crashed. If you can tell by the title here, by the recovered here, it actually crashed before. I'm not sure why exactly. That is just one of the risks you run when you use Maya. Occasionally it's going to crash. Same with Blender, same with most other programs. You got to be careful. You got to save often. I'm just going to reset my settings to what they were before. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and I am going to assign a new material. Let's make it a Lambert. Thank you. Let's go to Lambert here. And let's go to color. Let's go to file. Now I'm just going to track down that TIFF. As we can see, it is transparent. It is transparent, just as we worked with in the alpha channel back in Photoshop. And it's not transparent here. Oh, that's interesting. Why is it not transparent here, I wonder? PSD is going to show that. There we go. I don't know why it was showing the background before. It shouldn't have, but there it is. There's the butterfly. And again, I can go back into my, let's see, UV editor here, and I can just play around with the shell to get something that makes a little bit more sense. Kind of get a tile if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Let's play around with this. Scaling. Something more appropriate. Something like that. There we go. That is how you can create your own transparency for images that didn't already have transparency to begin with. For our original videos, we worked with a butterfly that already had a nice transparent background. For this extra video, we went ahead and found two ways, one within Maya and one within Photoshop, to add in transparency to an image of a butterfly that did not previously have any. So that's just an extra video about that I wanted to show you. I hope it helped. Thank you very much for watching.